Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. This is Foul Play here, back for another modern league. So I'm going to continue with variation on the list that I've been running pretty much post Lurus nerfing or companion nerfing. So that's with the main deck ley lines for your burns and Jund matchups, and your Savage Swipes as a creature removal spell. Pretty effective against decks with Thing in the Ice, Arbor Elf and Ponza, and it's also not too bad against Amulet the Titan as well. With that, we are also running the 2 of Sentinel's Eyes in the main deck, and then the full playset of your Ethereal, your Gristburn, your Hyena, your Rancor, and your Daybreak Coronet. I like Sentinel's Eyes as a 2 of. I'm not hugely a fan of Savage Swipe as a 2 of. I think maybe 3 to 4 is a better number, but you just can't afford to fit them in with the ley lines there in the main deck. Now you'll notice Daybreak Coronet is the only 2-mana aura. That's because we're wanting to enable the turn 2 aura Savage Swipe. So when our creature's power is exactly 2, we'll fight their creature, we'll get +2/+2, and then we'll get to attack for 4. It's really good tempo and much better than just pathing an opponent's creature and ramping them in their mana. So moving across to the sideboard, we do still have 2 Path to Exiles. Bring that in against things like Amulet Titan. It's also very, very good and effective against Death Shadow. Well, essential against Death Shadow. So Graveyard Hate, we've got the 2 Rest in Peace and the 1 Graft Digger's Cage. So Rest in Peace is really good against those, both Dredge, but also those control decks that do the Mystic Sanctuary Cryptic Command or Supreme Verdict or Engineered Explosive lock on you. Like, just Mystic Sanctuary is just way too powerful to not have Rest in Peace in your sideboard. Graft Digger's Cage is pretty similar to Rest in Peace. You can also bring Rest in Peace in against Jund as sort of a Tarmogoyf shrinking card. Graft Digger's Cage, it pretty much does the same job, but as far as dealing with Dredge is concerned, but it also overlaps onto Neoform, Gristle Shoal, Collected Company, Court of Cooling decks, all of that sort of nonsense. So Suppression Field, pretty good against the Collected Company deck, pretty good against Gristle Shoal, really good against Ponza. It has you get very, very good results against Ponza with the combination of Suppression Field and Savage Swipe. Savage Swipe either to kill their Magus of the Moon or the Arbor Elf, and then Suppression Field to lock them off their fetch lands. They are a fetch heavy deck, and it does get them quite badly. So 3 Galactic, Tron, pretty self-explanatory there. Much the same for Force of Vigor and, Chalice decks. Torpor Orb, I brought this in to experiment against Ad Nauseam as to shutting off half their combo, because they do get the 1-mana black spell and the Thassa's Oracle, and they put the Thassa's Oracle trigger on the stack and then cast the 1-mana spell and then draw their whole library, let the trigger resolve, and then they win the game. So this will shut off that half, where Gadok Teague will shut off the Ad Nauseam half. So yeah, I unfortunately haven't versed any of those decks since I brought it in. It's also good against humans, and as we saw Elementals the other day, it did stuff, just we were a little bit too far behind for it to do enough. So without any further ado or rambling, we're going to go ahead and get into a modern league here. Look to play the first match and see how we perform. Yeah, I've had reasonable success with the deck, so I'm currently sitting at 2218, which isn't great. It's above 50%, but it's below 60%. Off the top of my head. So off the top of the pause my calculator, it's a 55% win rate at the moment. Not completely horrible. And yes. So yeah, other than that, I have been slowly chipping away at a guide to Bogles. I realise the deck is quite an intermediate for new players to get introduced into the format. But as you've seen with me playing the deck, or hopefully as you've seen with me playing the deck, it is still reasonably skill intensive, and decision making, deck configuration, sideboard configuration, puts us into a position where we can actually compete pretty effectively with our opponents. Alright, so we won the die roll here. Ooh, this is an interesting one. We're versing Insidious. I think if this had a fetch land instead of one of the Razor Verge Thickets, I'd probably keep it. Just no Totem Armor, no... Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit iffy, no First Strike. Alright, this looks way better. I'll snap keep this, ditch a Bogle, and go to town. Alright, so keep, bottom. So the only point where bottoming the Bogle there would be worse... Actually, it doesn't make a huge difference. If it's a Jund deck, I'd want to keep the second creature, but I'd probably be bottoming the Daybreak Coronet there. But, you know, in that situation, they might just take the second Bogle if they've... Alright, looks like it's Burn or Prowess, Mono Red Prowess. They'll just take the Bogle, and I'll just have my 3/4 and get blown out. Okay. Alright, so we'll go Hyena Umbra, we'll go Ethereal Armor. And we do have the Daybreak Coronet here, so pretty happy just attacking in. It's the Mono Red Prowess deck. I don't think they can go off super hard on turn 2, but on turn 3 they definitely can. Because they need a red spell for this, and even if they're running Mishra's Bauble isn't a red spell. They don't have a free red spell outside of Manamorphose. Alright, so we'll just jam Daybreak Coronet, and I imagine our opponent will just concede to the side of that. That's 8 damage, 8 life, and we've got a Totem Armored blocker. Alright, so opponent has conceded to Daybreak Coronet, which is fair enough. Alright. So, Mono Red Prowess, it does bring in Blood Moon, so we do want some number of Force of Vigor. Creature removal is very, very important, so we do want Path. Core Spirit Dancer is atrocious, we want to remove that. And then we're sort of one card over. Probably Gristburn is the weakest aura left in our deck. I think we want to keep our Savage Swipe, bring in our Path to Exiles. They don't deal that much damage to you without their creatures, so if you can deal with their creatures, you're probably in a good spot. And, you know, Blood Moon is just a we lose card, so we want to bring in Force of Vigor to help edge that. You could potentially bring in 2, maybe more so on the play than on the draw. But yeah, I really don't like Core Spirit Dancer in this matchup. Okay, so this hand... What can we do? We can get a 3-power Dryad Arbor on turn 2 without Totem Armor, but it does have Daybreak Coronet, but also... Oh, wait. We don't have... a white source of mana, because we're going to fetch this and we're going to have green in our hand. We have to throw this. Alright, so this looks better. So we'll keep this, bottom the Dryad Arbor, done. I mean, it's a pretty thin hand, but at least we've got access to our basic mana, and we've got a ley line to help slow our opponent down as well. Alright, so we'll just take 1 point of damage. Alright, drawing Gristburn is good because it does actually give us some description of the clock here. Next turn, I'm definitely looking to play my Windswept Heath over my Plains, just to play around turn 3 Blood Moon. It shuts off the option of me having Dryad Arbor, but that's not going to be a huge issue. Could be just a 2-mana creature now from my opponent. Alright, post-combat Swiftspear. They might have accidentally clicked through. It seems weird that they wouldn't do that pre-combat. Alright, let's get out the Plains now. Ethereal Armor is going to be the quickest clock. We'll throw down our Hyena Umbra while we can. And I think we're pretty happy just attacking here. Now that he's got 2 creatures out, might be a bit riskier, but Leyline's pretty good assurance. He doesn't have any white mana yet for a Wear Tear, or a Disenchant or something. He can, of course, just Lava Dart himself and start going crazy. Oh, that's another card I sometimes bring in, is Rest in Peace here. I think it's a little bit of an overboard now that I have the extra removal spells. Alright. He's just attacking for 2. Okay. Alright, so let's play out our forest. We won't give him information of the second planes being in the main deck. And if he's got a Blood Moon now, he might play it. If not, we put him to 8, and then any aura off the top of our library, or if they deal any point of damage to themselves, and we have the win. Looks like their hand's just full of lightning bolts and whatever else. I'm not sure why they're not casting anything. Okay, so Metamorphose. Okay, they can Wear Tear here, actually. I think if they've got the Wear Tear, they just hit the ley line. Ethereal Armor gets shrunk by 1. And then they look to kill us next turn. The deck's very capable of killing us in 1 turn there as well. So I think he's just making a decision as to what to hit, whether or not it's the Ethereal Armor or the ley line. Because if he hits the Ethereal Armor, that's 4 damage gone. Yeah, so there's Tear. Goodbye Leyline. We only hit for 6. That puts him to 9. Now, Rancor, Ethereal Armor, or Daybreak Coronet will win it for us. But we are at risk of just dying now. We could also just top deck another Leyline and actually hardcast it. That might help us win the game. Oh wow, he puts us to 1 here, if I'm correct. Alright, no, he puts us to -1. Alright, so he beat us there. He didn't use his graveyard to do it. I think taking out 1 force for the Griffspoon on the play is fine. And I don't think I want to change anything other than that. I also think removing Core Spirit Dancer, I don't think it's as much of a death sentence as it used to be. I'm going to keep this off the strength of Daybreak Coronet. Other auras are really good. Having 1 land and dealing 3 damage to ourselves on turn 1 is not so good, but it's good enough. Ever since the London Mulligan rule became the normal Mulligan rule for competitive formats and everything, or even Friday Night Casual, but since it became the accepted Mulligan technique, I should say, I think it's way more correct to... it's less damaging to remove creatures from your main deck, like the Core Spirit Dancers, in these bad matchups, because you can mulligan, and instead of mulliganing to 6 and only seeing 6 cards, you now see everything you need. Alright, well, we just drew the nuts just then. So we'll just go double Ethereal, attack for 5, and then Daybreak next turn, attack for 10. Yeah. Something I was thinking about the other day, like the London Mulligan rule. Like while I was looking at cards to include in my Bogles guide that I'm putting together, I was thinking, Silhana Ledgewalker probably had more merit. Okay, this is interesting. Before the London Mulligan rule. I don't think he's going to kill us in 1 turn. I think we quite possibly want to slow roll the Daybreak Coronet here, because we don't have him dead this turn. We'd put him to 10 at best, and then he's just going to do the Metamorphose and Tear trick that he did last game. So here we can attack for a little bit more, attack for 11, and then maybe he'll fire something at Dryad Arbor instead of us, because Dryad Arbor is also a blocker, will block a lot of damage. It's only worse if he has Lava Spike, I suppose, but, Alright, let's see what our opponent does. Alright, tear on ethereal armor. So tear on ethereal armor and nothing else. Alright, here comes a Manamorphose. Any chance to block the Soul Scour Mage, I'll of course do it. Alright, Trample is frustrating. Another Crash Through is not that bad. Alright. I don't think we die. I think we're okay. Lava Spike asks, this goes up to 6, up to 5, sorry. Okay, no, we're good. Alright, so we might as well fog 1 point of damage in case something freaky happens. Opponent has to assign damage there, that's why it lit up all funny like that. Alright, and now just Daybreak for the win. Alright, so doing that the way we did it, where we slow rolled the Daybreak, pretty much won us the game, because I went after Ethereal Armor, which dropped 4 points of damage, but killing Daybreak would have dropped 5 points of damage. Yeah, that went pretty well. Yeah. I don't think my mono red Prowess player had particularly scary hands, or if he had them, maybe he didn't know how to quite sequence them right. I did see Rejuke put up like a mono red Prowess video like a week ago, which I'm pretty keen to check out. I haven't yet, but I'm keen to watch it. Yep, so other than that, I will be looking to do my Ultimate Guides to Bogles presentation this weekend coming. And I am planning just to do like a deck construction thing, an aura inclusion where your auras are good, where your auras are bad. So test and training might look like a bit of a wacky inclusion there. But I think there could potentially be a metagame where it might be decent if it's very Jund heavy and like it replaces itself if it's a little bit of a slower format where the card advantage is more important than the explosiveness. Like obviously we're not in that format at the moment, but I could see a possibility where it could maybe get played at some point. Same as Luminarch Mantle, but less these days. So yeah, obviously I've got some creature removal packages, some graveyard hate packages, artifact instruction. Yeah, so I'm looking at doing like a main deck guide, a sideboard guide, maybe some example builds and some example sideboarding for all of that. So if there's any matchups you want to have included in that sideboarding, let me know in the comments. I've had 2 people sort of requesting stuff so far. And I will be looking at doing pretty much anything that makes it on the channel Fireball, like 10 most powerful decks of the week as well. Maybe like the last month worth of those. I'll include them, as long as they're not outdated like the companion decks are now these days. But yeah, so that is going to be everything for this video, guys. If you did enjoy the content, please let me know down below via liking or commenting, both of which are good for the YouTube algorithm and will help to grow my channel. Other than that, if you are new to the channel and want to see daily Bogles content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you would like notifications, hit the bell for the notifications every time a new video goes live. Thank you all for watching till the end, and I will see you all tomorrow for another video.